and Dr. Nyaho Tamaklo, representative of the Electoral Commission, Dr. Sribo, friends and partners from the media, distinguished invited guests, we of the Normalization Committee of the Ghana Football Association, Ms. Na Odofoli Norte, Mr. Sami Osei-Kuffour, and myself, together with the top management and staff of the GFA Secretariat, greet you warmly. Good morning. Good morning, brothers and sisters. I stand before you today with malice towards no one, but with a heart full of hope and promise for the revival, the restructuring, and the positive development of a Ghana football enterprise. And I'm confident and aware that we all share these sentiments together. And therefore, we are hopeful that this Congress today will be a watershed in the history of Ghana football, a turning point for the development of a modern football enterprise, not only for the exhibition of the beauty and wizardry of our game, but for the significant improvement in infrastructure, operations, administration, and financial strength of a Ghana football enterprise. Ladies and gentlemen, for this Congress to discuss and adopt new statutes for the GFA, we believe it to be prudent to briefly catalog the series of activities and events that have culminated in the draft GFA statutes and elections regulations tabled here today. The GFA Normalization Committee, as you all know, is an offspring of discussions and negotiations between the government of Ghana and FIFA-CAF that ensued after the airing of a video in Ghana and on the BBC. Brothers and sisters, it is important to state clearly that the NC's specific, it is important to state clearly what the NC's specific mandate is, as opposed to the broader and all-encompassing mandate ascribed by some pundits and upon which all sorts of judgments have been assigned to the NC's capabilities or lack thereof. This is not a defensive posture by any means, but it is an essential and critical clarification that must be made to underpin a rather longer process of actions and steps that the next GFA administration must undertake to truly reform Ghana football wholesomely. Firstly, sanitizing Ghana football laws and regulations is a prerequisite that must happen before we can build a modern, profitable Ghana football enterprise. And hence, the mandate of the NC was designed to accomplish the first indispensable prerequisite of drafting the statutes and the regulatory framework that will help guide, monitor, referee, and sanction football activities to be healthy, smooth, and profitable. Ladies and gentlemen, the draft statutes and election regulations in your hands are those required prerequisite in conjunction with the GFA regulations, the FIFA and CAF statutes for the road we must travel to create that modern and profitable Ghana football enterprise. And I know we can do it because we have done it before. Along with the key mandate of reviewing and drafting the GFA statutes, the NC also had a mandate of overseeing the daily operations and activities of the GFA. And these included several international competitions for our national teams. All these assignments were carried out appropriately, even though we did not come home with a haul of medals. On the domestic front, we organized the NC Special Competition in a novelty format comprising the Premier and Division One clubs. Arrangements were made by the NCA to have all the key matches produced and broadcast free to air on GTV to reach all corners of Ghana for the enjoyment of any Ghanaian home with a television set. The media, our friends in the media, were engaged to help hype the upcoming matches, and this helped tremendously to attract fans to match venues and on television. The interest in football in Ghana was gradually rising, and this strategy of consistently televising matches, supported by media analysis and promotion, must be sustained to help generate maximum viewing on all platforms. And this will help grow the interest of Ghanaian fans. This, ladies and gentlemen, is an important requirement for developing a sponsorship platform to enhance revenues to the league clubs. Unfortunately, several of the desired outcomes from the competition fizzled out due to their inability to abide by financial commitments made to the clubs, the referees, the match commissioners, and the venue officers. The lesson here, which must be forcefully underlined, is that human behavior responds positively to promises made and kept. The response is negative when promises are unkept. And we need to reinforce positive policy directions and sustain them. The general success of the NC Special Competition also included the selection of 2 Ghanaian clubs to the 2019 CAF Champions League and Confederations Cup, which were deservedly won by Kumasi Asante Kotoko FC and Ashanti Gold FC, respectively. We wish both of them the best of luck, and they have our full support. We wish to also appeal to corporate Ghana to join and assist, as the success of these 2 clubs will elevate brand Ghana and hence also put a shine on corporate Ghana and their export products and services across the African continent. In executing the statute's review mandate, we first met with almost all football constituents and other key stakeholders. This approach, we believe, was important to help the NC understand from these constituents their views of what had gone wrong with Ghana football, and most importantly, their suggestions and comments for reform. And we thank you for delivering. Ladies and gentlemen, here are some of the meetings we had. We met with club owners and administrators, referees, match commissioners, technical staff of the Black Stars, technical staff of all the national teams, player reps, male and female. We met with the Professional Footballers Association of Ghana. We conferred with the Sports Ministry. We met with the Parliamentary Select Committee on Youth and Sports. Of course, we engaged the media several times: radio, print, television, online platforms. We met with His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, and we were in touch with FIFA and the Government of Ghana Task Force. We attended 2 ordinary congresses, one FIFA in Paris, one CAF in Cairo. We attended one extraordinary congress, CAF at Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt. We had meetings with corporate Ghana on sponsorship matters. We met with the banks, the telecommunication companies, embassies. We met with representatives of the Spanish, Italian, and English football leagues. Major sponsorship was received from GMPC to support the NC Special Competition. We are grateful to the GMPC. The NC called on the football community, individuals, and the general public to provide suggestions and ideas that could help with the restructuring process and we were fortunate to receive quite a few, including from Garka, Your Umbrella Bolly, and many other sources. We formed 6 ad hoc committees made up of some of the most accomplished individuals in their fields of endeavor. We are compiling the excellent reports each committee presented that can serve as a reference manual for football practitioners, students, and researchers interested in football and sports in general. These reports covered areas that may help advise on football development policy, public and private sector investments in football, supported with specific tax incentives and subsidies, as well as academic training to ensure the proper and wholesome development of Ghana's youth in football. It is most telling that the huge investment that Ghana governments make in football are invariably towards the national teams, and especially the Black Stars, made up of mostly Ghanaians, the Ghanaian players who ply their trade in Europe and elsewhere, while the local players and the local football clubs, the crucibles of Ghana football's past and future, are left to fend for themselves under trying circumstances. We believe this calls for a rethink and reallocation of these huge expenditures to favor the development of the game at home and the strengthening of our local leagues. The strength and economic contribution of the nation's football to its GDP can only materialize if the local league is made stronger and profitable. If we achieve this, Ghana's young football players can be paid much better and help quench their insatiable dreams and preference to be sold to foreign clubs. Such dreams are not helpful to developing and sustaining a vibrant and profitable domestic football enterprise. There have been a few national football development proposals and plans in the past, but ladies and gentlemen, these have all been forgotten and replaced with ad hoc, unplanned, and unstrategized dreams of grandeur. We conjure our past glories as the basis for winning medals in the present, forgetting that there are new kids from other nations who are hungrier and more prepared. Yes, we are a fine football nation, rich in talent and tradition. And yes, we can let our past glories inspire and encourage us, but I'm afraid we will have to get on the drawing board to replan and invest properly. We train about 150 of Ghana's top referees by FIFA and CAF instructors to help freshen up their technical knowledge and to discuss honesty and transparency in refereeing. At the end of the 4 days exercise, the referees proclaimed their hallelujahs and we clapped, hoping for improvement in the art of refereeing in Ghana. We have more to do here. We launched the NC Special Competition with the intention to test credible solutions offered for dealing with some of the most unacceptable and alarming problems afflicting Ghana football. Namely, paltry attendance of matches by fans leading to low match day ticket revenues. Lack of consistency in broadcasting football matches on television, resulting in a lack of TV production and broadcast rights revenues, as well as the absence of corporate sponsorship interest and hence sponsorship revenues. And return Ghana football activities, operations, and development to you, brothers and sisters of the football community. And in conclusion, I'd like to say the NC appreciates the opportunity to work with all of you and the pieces of advice received from many of you. Believe me, we truly listened. And we also appreciate and applaud the collaboration and assistance received from FIFA, especially our lead contacts, Mr. Luca Nicola, Manager of Governance, Mr. Veron Musengo Omba, Manager of Development for the African and Caribbean area, Mr. Solomon Modege, and others, as well as indirectly with Madam Fatma Samura, the General Secretary of FIFA, Mr. Ahmad Ahmad, the CAF President, and Mr. Gianni Infantino, the FIFA President. A great kudos and ovation goes to our own President Akufo-Addo for his direct involvement with the top echelon of CAF and FIFA during the emotionally charged atmosphere in which many Ghanaians were angry to the aftermath of the Anas number 12 video. Our President's personal interaction hit a chord of a once great African football nation whose bright lights have dimmed and whose top political leader at the time felt the need to crystallize the issue for global football chiefdom to appreciate and understand. President Infantino and his top brass were touched and declared to the amazement of football-loving observers that, and I quote, "Never again shall football administrators be allowed to hide behind FIFA and CAF statutes and commit various acts of malfeasance. Let FIFA and the government of Ghana form a task force and use FIFA statutes and the laws of Ghana to prosecute and punish acts of proven malfeasance in football," unquote. Ghana, he said, will be the test case, and if it goes well, the task force policy direction shall be rolled over to other federations in Africa and elsewhere. This is a landmark breakthrough, and we must applaud President Akufo-Addo, President Fantino, Madam Fatma Samura, and President Ahmad Ahmad for this historic and landmark bridge that will create FIFA and independent states crossover legislation for exorcising malfeasance from football. Its implementation and application architecture is now under consideration and development by FIFA and Government of Ghana lawyers. It is also important for this Congress to embrace this new landmark opening that should help focus our energy more on football development and less on the discussions of football politics and issues of bad governance. I wish the Congress fruitful deliberations today, and I pray for the rediscovery of our nation's football prowess that has presently dimmed, but together with respect towards one another and with determined dedication to rebuild, we shall triumph again and rise to the top of global football. May God bless Ghana football. Thank you.